Why do you want to help the Goodwin grow?
I want to help the Goodwin grow because I'm a part of the Hadley neighborhood, and it's a part of my neighborhood, and I care about our community.
Why do you want to help the Goodwin grow?
I want to help the Goodwin grow because, you know, to me a library is one of those very few institutions like public schools or senior centers that are just part of the heart and soul of a town. And this library does incredible things in a very small, confined space, and I think allowing this to grow will just further the types of services that they can provide to everybody in our community.
Library.
I think the best part of the new library will be the community rooms. Well, I know there will be one community room for sure. It can be a true community building, and that all different groups can use it.
Why do you want to help the Goodwin grow?
I'd like to see the Goodwin grow. It was a very important part to my Uncle John Devine's life. He was a big supporter of the library. Kate was a big supporter of the library. And I think it's an integral part of our community.
Why do you want to help the Goodwin grow?
I would like to see the Goodwin grow because of the community room. We don't have enough community centers in Hadley, and it's vital that we have it.
Library and education and learning through reading and through computer science and everything else is how our generations will always stay ahead.
I would like to have the Goodwin grow to be more accessible to more community members.
Leslie, why do you want to help the Goodwin grow?
Because it's time that Hadley had a new library in the 21st century mode. How's that?
Perfect.
Can we have your attention, everybody? One of your hosts would like to say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
On behalf of the...
Over here so people can see.
Thank you. I'm going to make sure. On behalf of the library trustees, I would like to welcome you all to this evening of appreciation and celebration. I would especially welcome Kate Nugent's family, her sister and former trustee Beth Brown, and her niece Pat and her cousin Leslie. And I would also like to acknowledge the present and past select board members, present and past library trustees, and our state representative John Sybick. Thank you all for joining us. We gather tonight to express our gratitude for the tremendous gift of $50,000 from Kate's bequest to the Hadley Library. It is hard to believe it's almost 10 years ago, and this acknowledgement is way overdue. Kate lived in Hadley for only 10 years, yet was very involved and invested in the Hadley community. She demonstrated with grace and passion to work with others to make Hadley a better place for all. She inspired me when she wrote an editorial and said, "If you are lucky enough to get elected, realize it's an honor and a responsibility to the residents. Many of you who work or volunteer for the town have the same desire and responsibility and should be proud of your efforts." In Kate's passing, she passed on a generous gift that will be a lasting gift to the town of Hadley. The library trustees are proud to announce the naming of the Kate Nugent Community Meeting Room in the future library. This big, bright, and fully accessible room and adjoining kitchenette will be used for community members for meetings, talks, and programs and other gatherings, even after the library hours are closed. Please raise your glass to honor Kate, her generosity and dedication to the town of Hadley. Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
What do you think the best part of the new library is going to be?
I think the best part of the new library will be the handicap access and the community room that anyone can use at any time.
And why do you love libraries?
I love libraries because they are a bastion of culture and a bastion of knowledge. They hold the principles of America and have done so since our beginning.
Great, thanks.
Kate Nugent was my aunt, and I was the executrix of her estate after she passed. Contributions she made out of her estate, and this one was the most important to her. So I facilitated one of her wishes, and that's what brought me here today. I would like to have the Goodwin grow to be more accessible to more community members. And even though this is a lovely old building with tiny little corridors to select your books and it feels like home, I think it's time that we got a site and a home where kids can join in a community room, senior cits can come in and be comfortable, and also it's that welcoming moment when you come in and say, the town cares about their library, look at our space. It is a place I can come and the community can gather.
Library and education and learning through reading and through computer science and everything else is how our generations will always stay ahead. And it provides a great service for a lot of older people that don't want to buy a lot of books or maybe don't use the media and can come here and check out books. I think the best part of the new library is going to be more modern surroundings, so to speak, although the old library is very Hadley in a lot of ways. It's not what we could...
Hold on. How rude.
It's although the old library is beautiful, the new library will definitely be more modern, easier to get around, easier to find things.
Why do you love libraries so much?
I just think it's it's the fountain of knowledge. It's a place to go to look up anything, to find anything, and it's always been fun to bring grandkids here. I used it when I was a kid, and I still use it today with grandkids coming here, and story time and stuff. So a lot of fun.
Do you have a memory of Kate? A short memory of Kate you want to share?
I have a lot of great memories of Kate. Did a lot of work in her house, and she was a good friend. Worked with her to run for selectman. She was just a tremendous human being, very intelligent woman, and a lot of fun to be around. So, and I miss her.
I'd like to just tell you a very short story. My sister worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield in New Jersey, and one day she got a phone call from, what are they called, headhunters? Yeah. From Empire in New York. She'd like to come and interview for a vice president's job. Well, Kate said, well, yeah, probably could. And so her staff at Blue Cross in New Jersey arranged for a limousine to take her to the meeting, and she bought a new outfit. I think it was a Jones of New York, very expensive. And off she went, and she met with the president and the vice presidents and all this people and everything else. And they offered her the job, and she said, well, that would be lovely. She'd be happy to take it. So she went outside, and there was no limousine. Evidently, it was a one-way. So she said, oh, well, I guess I'll have to take a cab. So she raises her arm up and calls a cab. And hanging under from her Jones outfit was all the sales tags, including one, I'm sure, that said sales. So she worked there for a couple of years, and then came the recession, and they called her in one day, and they said they're very sorry, but they would probably have to downsize her, and they didn't need her anymore. So paraphrasing Tom Cruise, my sister said, well, show me the money. And home she went. She put her house on the market, and it sold in a week. Alan and I, and we were living in Amherst at the time, she called and said she had to come up and find a place to live. And I could hear Alan in the background, yes, please, let's find her a place to live. So she came up, and that morning we went out, and lo and behold, she bought the house on Frailer Drive, which had just gone on the market an hour ago. So she landed there, and she said, called me one day and said she was going to run for select board. And I said, are you out of your mind? You're from New Jersey. You can't get elected in Hadley. Well, run she did, win she did by 10 votes. And so she served 3 years. When her 3 years was up, she didn't know what she was going to do. So she decided to think about it, well, thought about it, and it was too late. So she put did a write-in vote. And some wonderful people in the town and everything worked with her, and they wrote her name in, and she won again. So 2 years into her second term, the roof fell in, and she was diagnosed with the cancer. So her biggest challenge at that point, Kate being Kate, was what to wear to the select board meetings, because she had chemo and she didn't have any hair, and she should wear a hat or she should wear a scarf or what she should wear. So we did that every month till, anyway. So she served out her third year, and because she had had time, she made plans for what to do with the monies that she wanted to give away. And this was her third year. She retired from the select board, and she died in 2007. And I think that down the road here, when we have our new library, sooner rather than later, people will say, well, who's Kate Nugent? And you people can say, well, she was a person who felt that Hadley had welcomed her with open arms, that she had met so many wonderful people, and that she considered it her second hometown. And that's why we have Kate Nugent's room today. Thank you.
Because it's time that Hadley had a new library in the 21st century mode. How's that?
Perfect. Now, what do you think the best part of the new library is going to be?
My cousin's room. They'll be named after her. Whichever room that's going to be, it'll be the best.
And do you have a memory of Kate and the library you'd like to share with us?
Well, I came to visit here quite a few times when she was a select woman, and had a tour of the town and saw the library, and we grew up together, so she was very special to me.
Okay, thank you very much. Why do you want to help the Goodwin grow?
Well, I think the situation is, some people think libraries have outlived their usefulness and their time. That really isn't the case. While people may have abilities to access materials at home and do their own internet searches, the reality is that a library is so much more. A, you've got individuals at the library who can help you do specialized research. Number two, there's something about having a book in your hand, having materials in your hand. When times are good, when times are bad, you don't have to leave the town of Hadley. You can go anywhere in the world by accessing these materials. And so the opportunity for the town of Hadley is to leave something for the next generation, and the generation after that, and the generation after that, in terms of ensuring that they have access to the best quality materials, in terms of doing research, staying on top of things. And it's also a good, just a good memorial to this community and the people who come through this community.
Do you have a memory of Kate and the library you'd like to share?
I do. I have memories of Kate where that she was very kind to our daughter Kelly. She would take her out and with doing girl things together in her blue convertible, and Kelly thought that was the best thing ever. And she was always very much of a friend with my husband Jerry Devine on the select board. And we enjoyed her very much socially with her family, extended family. And also my son and my daughter went to many programs here in the library when they were young, the story time. And so there's a lot of fond memories there of the library itself, that my son likes to come and just, you know, borrow videos from the library, and he much enjoys coming also.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
That's it.
Okay, that was...
Well, on behalf of Chairman Molly Keegan and the rest of the Select Board, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here tonight, and thank you very much for hosting the event. It's wonderful. Betsy got one thing wrong. We were the ones lucky to get Kate, not her to be lucky. I tell anecdotes all night. The way I met Kate, she was 5'3", and she ran up to me and she heard I was running on this, for the Select Board, and it was a seat that was currently occupied. And she waved her little hand in my face and she said, "What the hell do you think you're going to do better than we're doing?" And John Connor just walked in, and John was on the board at that point in time, and I was running, and I said, you know, Kate, you're from New York, and that's wonderful, and we love New York ideas, and we're welcome to bring those in, all your cockamamie thoughts, bring them in. She said, "My thoughts aren't cockamamie," and I said, "No, I know they're not, but they're different, and you know, we do things one thing around here, and I'd like to kind of bring some of that back to the table." And she said, "Well, we'll see how you do." And I was lucky enough to get elected. And it was an honor and a pleasure to serve with Kate. She was a wonderful person. She brought wonderful ideas to the table. She was feisty as hell. And when she got something in her beak, she never stopped until she got it done. And I think she'd be proud to see the library people working so hard to get the library going in that direction. And I think her endowment to it is a nice kickoff in order to show how other people can get involved with the library. Use it as a model and follow it if you can. Thanks.
What do you think the best part of the new library will be?
I think the best part of a new library, first and foremost, it'll be accessible. It'll be so much easier for all of our community citizens to come and use the library. I think it'll allow the library to offer programs to our youngest kids, to teens, to seniors, and everybody in between. So I think just being more accessible, being able to provide even more programs and services to the town, that'll be the best part of the library.
Do you have a memory about Kate?
For Kate, what I'll most remember about Kate is her absolute love for Hadley. As someone who grew up, born and bred in New Jersey, and didn't spend really all that much time here, she immediately loved the town, adopted it as a second home. She had an incredible impact on the Select Board, and just fell in love with the town and did everything she could to give back to the town. So her gift as part of this campaign to give an even better gift to the town in terms of a new and improved library, that's a fitting legacy for Kate, because what I'll remember is how much she loved Hadley.
The best part of the new library will be that it is on one floor. It's handicap accessible. There's a 24-hour community room that is available to all people. The children's room will be exciting, and it will have a children's garden. And I'm just excited that we will have more opportunities for services at the Goodwin Library.
Great. Do you have a memory you'd like to share about Kate?
I remember Kate as being very feisty, and I liked her spirit.
Hi, my name is Joanne Knutsny. I'm the chairperson of the Goodwin Memorial Library Trustees, and I am here to talk about our project, 100 Years in the Making. The trustees are working on a capital campaign to raise money and awareness for approximately 60% of the $8 million cost of a new library for the town of Hadley. This is a three-pronged effort. We have applied for a grant for the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners to pay for 54% of the building costs, and we will be notified if we have been awarded the grant within a month. Privately, we are looking to raise $300,000, and Kate's money is a wonderful jumpstart to this process. Lastly, we are raising awareness. We hope to have over 300 pledges by fall town meeting. Today, we are grateful to acknowledge Kate with a fitting place in the future of the Goodwin Memorial Library. We invite you to look at the design of our new handicap accessible library with a 24-hour access Kate Nugent community room and separate space for children and teens. Feel free to speak with the trustees or capital campaign members on how to get on board with this important investment in the future of our town. And in closing, we just would like to thank the efforts of the staff and the capital campaign committee for this evening. So we hope you enjoy the night.
Thank you.